If you've always wanted the freedom to live and work abroad, but the word entrepreneurship makes you hesitant, this video is for you. Building your own income can feel intimidating, and I am saying this from first-hand experience. But if your goal is to have real control over where you live, over how you work, and to be able to fully support your life abroad, eventually having income that you do own and control is what makes a huge difference between being able to live abroad for a season and actually building your life abroad. In this video, I'll show you why I believe that building your own online income is such an important part of creating the freedom to live abroad. And also why a remote job can actually be a great starting point without necessarily being the end goal. If you hang out with me until the end, you'll also see what building an online business can actually look like when your focus is on freedom and not necessarily hustle and grind culture. But first, before we dive in, hey girl, hey, welcome back to the channel, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're new here, also glad that you're here, and welcome to She Earns Abroad. My name is Ariana, and I have been living and working remotely since 2021. Here on this channel, I help women discover their own path to earning online so that they can build a thriving life abroad too. If that sounds like your vibe, definitely be sure to check out the link in the description below to my free guide for making money abroad. It walks you through all the steps to getting started, and it is honestly what I wish I would have had when I was getting started myself. Now, this might sound a little backwards, but living abroad is not just about the location. Leaving the US might spark the idea to figure out where it is that you want to go, to pick a destination, but having the freedom to truly design your life is usually what the end goal is that makes you want to make the move abroad. Having the freedom to choose where you live, to determine what your work schedule looks like, to decide how you go moving about your day-to-day schedule, and even having the freedom to make decisions, to navigate certain challenges that will come when you live abroad, such as moving to a new place. Maybe you thought it was your dream destination, but when you got there, it didn't quite live up to the hype that you expected it to be. So by having the freedom and the full control over where you live, how you work, it allows you to make the decision to leave a place that's not for you if that ends up being the case. So having your own means of income relieves the pressure of needing to pick the perfect location. You have the freedom to move around as you need to, as you choose. And it also is different from working for an employer where you might have to navigate certain limitations or restrictions that come with a job. Remote work is beneficial in giving you geographic freedom, but it's income ownership that truly gives you the financial and the lifestyle freedom. So just to be clear, I'm not at all knocking remote jobs. If you've seen my video on building an income system to live abroad sustainably, you know that I actually support having a remote job, but it's not supposed to be the end goal. It shouldn't be your only source of income because it's not reliable. Remote jobs are great as a starting point to earn from anywhere. They can help you to gain momentum with earning online. They help you to build cash flow and can help to offset any inconsistencies with any of your income streams. And they can be a huge help with taking the leap to move abroad. You can be a lot more confident in knowing you can make the move and support yourself when you have some income coming in. Remote jobs are also really beneficial for gaining new skills and getting remote work experience, which can be a huge benefit to have. On the other hand, as I mentioned, they do have limitations. Your work location is still essentially in the hands of the employer. So a position that might begin as 100% remote could change at any time and suddenly have restricted locations, or could even have a return to office mandate, completely removing the remote part of the role altogether. Your schedule is also highly determined by your employer, usually. There are some situations where you might have some more flexibility, but for the most part, it's up to your employer when you work, how you work, and your pay is also directly tied to someone else's say. And of course, the biggest one is that remote jobs can end at any time with or without prior warning. And this is the part that makes remote jobs risky to rely on alone. It's not at all that they're bad, they're just not designed for a freedom lifestyle. Owning your business is truly what gives you the control that's necessary for more stability. And the stability is the part that is so beneficial when living abroad because it's already an unpredictable world. I mean, we deal with unpredictability in our day to day, whether you're living in your native home country or living abroad. But different factors do come into play when you live abroad, and things can become even more unpredictable, which makes stability so essential. So when you own your own business, the benefits are clear. Like you get to decide your hours, you get to decide your offer, you get to decide your prices, you even get to decide who you work with. You have complete oversight into the whole picture. So it's no surprise layoffs coming your way when you own your own income. And you have the ability to also expand the income you have into multiple streams because you're the one in control. So even when things may not go as expected with clients or certain seasons of earning, you still can offset that by having control over the different streams of incomes that you build. Now, if you're thinking, okay, all of that sounds great, but what kind of business could I actually create that's completely online? I want you to start by thinking about the things that you are naturally good at. Don't underestimate these skills, even if they may seem completely different from anything you can do remotely. You'd be surprised. I made a video about how to map the skills that you have to remote online opportunities, how to map the skills that you have to remote income opportunities, and I'll link it here, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Now, my intentions are not to downplay the reality of building your own business. As I mentioned from the start, as a business owner myself, I know that it can be intimidating and I know it can come with some challenges. I'm not promising that it's easy, and I'm not saying that it can happen overnight. But for anyone who wants to live abroad for the long haul, I do think it's necessary to have your own independent income. While some might say that entrepreneurship is not for everyone, I would propose reframing your idea around what having your own business actually looks like. So it doesn't have to focus on you becoming a six-figure boss babe or some sort of CEO. You don't have to manage thousands of employees or have some massive corporation. You don't need endless followers and to become some big influencer. And you certainly don't need to replace your US salary in order to have a business that sustains your life abroad. The goal can be simple. Use your expertise to craft a valuable offer that solves a specific problem for a specific person. That's it. So building income that you completely own may not happen overnight, but that's okay. Isn't an easy button, but it is a necessity. And remote jobs are what can support you while you're gradually building your own. Now, I want to hear from you. After hearing everything we've talked about in today's video, do you see yourself being able to build your own independent income? Let me know down in the comments why or why not. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share this video with a friend who's on her own journey to living and earning abroad. For some useful ideas on ways that you can earn remotely using the skills that you already have, this is the next video that you will definitely want to check out. Until the next one.